Hi there, and welcome to Nerf News the Hour Ranch, Season 2, Episode 20. This is the weekend before Armageddon edition, and we've got lots of cool news and lots of cool stuff about wars that are coming up, End War, everything else just happened this weekend. And this warm-up war also happened this weekend. This was the warm-up war for Armageddon. You can see me breaking out Big Blue here, and yeah, I still need to work on some stuff. I got a few kills, but I still have to work on some stability issues and this and that with Big Blue. Big Blue, of course, shooting at about 370 feet per second. And I mean, it can take distances like that, but long shot's not my favorite format. My favorite format is something more like this. Yeah, I like the small pistol format a lot because it's a little more manageable. It's not as bulky. Other people like the long shot and all that stuff, but me myself, I like the sniper with this thing. It's just more spy pistol happy things, So at any rate, a lot of news thing. Boom Tendo making there's epic strides with Boomcom. We're gonna see that on Armageddon. And some guy got his SDL and Caliburn stolen, which raises a question: How do you get your Caliburn stolen? How did nobody not see this big honking blaster being taken? I don't understand from this meet, but nonetheless, that's been on the news too. And I have another friend who's trying to make a chronograph more practical for others. He's, of course, the guy who worked on this rifling tip over here that everybody knows and loves, the Acuro rifling unit. I make Merlins, but he makes Acuros, and I think it works really good for a chronomag myself. I got to take this out, and as you can see, yeah, I lost my scope. I have to work on this mount a little better. But this is what warm-up wars are for. It's to see what needs work and what doesn't need work, to fine-tune your blasters, and also which blasters are shooting better and which aren't for the wars, and also gets back in shape. God, I'm so sore from yesterday. But we had something else really cool that happened at this war. We had a photographer show up from the San Gabriel Valley Tribute, shooting a story about Armageddon 20, which is just huge. Armageddon 20 is turning 20 years this year. Armageddon 20 turning 20 this year. But, yeah. It's just so cool. And I got to be a part of it, and I got to be part of telling the story about it. So let's roll with that, shall we? This is just so cool. I first time I've ever been in the news. It's so rad. So here it is. San Gabriel Valley Tribute, turning 20. The biggest Nerf enthusiast competition in SoCal is about to rain foam on darts in Glendora. Armageddon 20 is planned for 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, June 29th at Staten Elementary School, 725 South Valenco Avenue. That's right. And there we are. I got to be part of this. I was interviewed for this article, and we got pictures. This is basically the warm up round here. We got Skylar, we got Bao, we got Corey, we got Nate, we got Roberto Deadpool. We just call him Deadpool, and and Brittany, and it's just everybody showing up and playing, and it's really cool that this has gotten exposure. And I would like to, if they ever need it, to help them out with anything else that would help them understand our hobby and understand what we're about, and that we're not about shooting pedestrians, we're not about being cocky, we're not about being stupid, we're about being creative. Nate brought up a very good point in this article that a lot of these people, this is their first exposure really to practical applications such as engineering, such as 3D printing and CADing and CNC machining, a lot of the sciences, a lot of the mathematics that help people get careers in the industry, which is really nice because unlike airsoft and paintball, we just go buy it and play. This is a lot more about the creator, the modders. It's not just about playing. Most of Nerf is actually not playing. It's modding and socializing and designing. We got some words from S.C.U.N, which we don't really get to hear about that often. He made the first original Armageddon, the first original Nerf Wars in Southern California, and he's going to be at Geddon this year, which is really cool. But he shows up every 5 years, and he told us about the whole history, how the whole thing started, here, and then over at the East Coast, the Four Horsemen over there, and it was called Armageddon, and conversely, of course, they called their event APOC. So it goes to the history of that. I'm talking more about how I started, and how I really feel that this format is much better for public places and public play. Yes, you have to, like, you can't just shoot it in a crowd of people and play games, but you can, like, separate a park and play and respect the pedestrians, everybody around you, and have a good game. And how, like, there was that one point where I really thought, you know, should I really take this further or should I quit? And I didn't. I went to Geddon in Armageddon 15 in 2014, and I played. So it was really cool, you know, to be part of this article and to be part of Geddon 20. Also, Geddon 20, we're planning something really cool. Also, in the planning stages for Sunday on June 30th is the day after Geddon. Me and Skylar, who are part of S.C.U.N, we are planning this event to be more of a simplified humans versus zombies. In other words, you're not standing out in the field for 45 minutes, us explaining to you this backstory about how the apocalypse happened. We're just going to let you figure it out because you're smart enough. We're not going to have this overly complicated rules and relics and runes and this and that. No. We'll just do it as we go along. You know, really interesting gameplay, really interesting story if you pay attention enough to do it. I'm going to MC it, of course, which is really cool. I get to play Mr. Mad Scientist. Mr. Mad Scientist. Yeah. And we have been working really hard on getting this game going. And it's going to be really cool. I'm hoping people show up and go to this and check it out. And even if we only get like 10 people or 15 people, that's fine. But I have always thought Geddon should be a 2-day event. Maybe like Ragnar Oktoberfest should be a 2-day event. Like Stalking Dead. You know, we had Stalking Dead the first day, and then we had the King of the Hill, BTA, and the Super Stock rounds the next day. And I think that that's a good way to go. So let's see, at our first attempt of getting this to be a 2-day event, will it fly, or will we have to make adjustments? I'm thinking it will be really, really great myself. And I'm telling you right now, and maybe short notice, I know it's like the week before, it's short notice, but we have a really good game, and I think it's a really good chance to try out a good, not overly complicated humans versus zombies format. And we're really working hard on it, me and Skylar, and I would be really excited for you to come to that too. Or even if you don't go to Geddon because you're afraid of the big bad men with the fast blasters, you go to this because the cap is going to be 150. You can play any ammo format you want as long as it's not hard ammo like HvHvZ. It's gonna be a really, really cool game. Not too fast. It's great for the kids, not just adults, you know. And so we're working on that as well. Day After Geddon. This is the first time you heard about it. And here we go. Check it out, man. It's gonna be cool. I have really good feelings about this year's Armageddon, and I really am happy. I want to show you some developments that one of my friends is doing. Has really come a long way in his field of modding. I've given him a lot of advice. Alan's given him a lot of advice. Last year, he made a half-length Boomco shooting a long shot, but this year he is really taking it up a notch, and he's claiming speeds over 350 feet per second. Actually, not claiming, proving. He actually has them. So I'm really going to be interested to see where this goes. Let's take it away. So my friend Tendo has been working on this year, a lot of Boomco stuff. He had the Batgirl pistol that he was modifying with a brass tube. He had that Spring Thunder, which we saw do like 324, 328 last week. And this week, he triple sprung his Caliburn. And I don't know if you can see that because it's really dark, but it says 341. But I got one that you can see. Check this out. Look at that. 358 feet per second. And not only that, but he's also claiming that's getting really good range. How good a range? Like 330 feet. And I can see it because it has less of a frontal area, these darts do, that they cut through the air maybe a little better. But he has said that it seems that the Boomco format needs a lot of power, like 40 kilograms of power to really go out there. But once it does, wow, you know, it's really cool. So we're going to see him at Geddon. It's going to be a really exciting Geddon because, you know, finally, after all this time of doing all this research and design, of doing everything he's been doing, we're actually going to see some Nick-worthy Boomco stuff, and it's going to be exciting. It really is. And I can't wait to see it myself. I'm going to try to see him the day before. He's going to be at OC Nerf's mod party, and I'm going to go see him and help him out with whatever he needs. But I love that he's been an avid listener. Whenever he's needed help, I've helped him out. He's using the same kind of brass tube that this is using. So it's about 37 and a half millimeters. And it's it really helps. Yeah, I do like this tube a lot. It's a really good plunger tube. I'm hoping to build a bird of prey on this tube in the future, you know. But you know, there we go. There's a better picture right there. 341. I don't know why on his page it was so dark, but 341. Wow. Hey, at least we know how much you paid for it. $5.99. I think this is the one he got on sale, but there was nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Oh man. But he's getting it, man. It's all about air pressure, air volume, spring force, force delivery, seal on the barrel, a long enough barrel to express the amount of force that's in the tube with the air, and to throw the dart effectively. He's starting to really get it, and he's been implementing this for the last year and just improving it a lot. So, Boom Tendo is going to be a force to reckon with. I guarantee you. So we were digging, and somebody posted this about the Umarex blasters. I've been really curious about the Umarex blasters with the 12-gram CO2 cartridges. It turns out they're going to use 12-gram CO2. And then there have been a lot of notions about the CO2-powered Nerf blasters. I remember a few years ago there was an idea like this floating around, and it didn't really fly, but maybe this is it. I don't know. But another suspicion that we're having is that, okay, they're just using like your standard CO2-powered plants and throwing them into like Nerf blasters, and because they're bigger area, 50 caliber rather than 177, they actually only go like 90 feet per second. So I really have to wonder how much is similar to a normal pellet gun and how much is not in these. But I got a lot of answers from this video right here. Check it out. Yeah.
Taking a break from your average airsoft, Umarex is going to be releasing a very unique addition to the dart shooting world. This is compatible
with different we may
Nerf
not even
magazines as well as having their own magazine.
Okay, there's one question answered. It's compatible with a normal Nerf magazine.
Like so.
That was one concern I have.
Umarex magazine,
that's the Umarex magazine.
I also
but you can take
Nerf branded magazine.
Nerf 12 rounder and throw it right in there. Cool.
As well. This is great because these actually fire all the different types of Nerf darts. But Umarex is also developing their own specific dart.
That's interesting.
I'm sure you're wondering.
I'm going to be interested to see. Okay, they're designing their own specific Nerf darts. I'm going to be really interested to see what kind of darts does Umarex actually designed for Nerf. Could they be really cool? Like actually work as maybe a PAC-D alternative or something? Or could they be something really stupid? I don't know. And they don't really describe it in here. I really would like more information on what are these darts like. You know, so every time I hear like somebody's designing a dart, oh yeah, great, you know, and I usually get let down. I'm like, it's freaking non-marking rubber or crap. Okay, you know. Oh yay, workers making new darts. It's just 38 millimeters, the same old flathead. Yeah, and it's been like that. Hey, explorers making a new dart. It's got uneven rifling that shoots every which way when you fire, and it's almost to the rim of the foam. See, I every time somebody comes out with a new dart, I get excited and then let down. And I get excited, I get let down. But anyway, let's continue with this because there's some more questions to be answered about this rifle. I had a lot of questions.
Two CO2 shells.
Okay, so 2 CO2 shells in the stock.
And then each shot is prepped by
it's pump action,
the
like
vertical
so.
rib back and then forward, pulling the trigger. So there's single shot.
So there's no force behind that because, of course, that's just a prime mechanism. It's not spring powered or anything. But my question is, how is this more effective than a spring-powered ret with a priming handle? Really now? I mean, when you go and you pick up, let's say, something like, I dare say it, a prophecy? Yeah. Like, I can only fire so fast with that. Well, I can only fire so fast with a prophecy or a retaliator with a pump grip anyway, so, or a long shot for that matter. So, okay, so here's my point. Okay, you got this thing, I'm sure it's really light action, and it's powered by 2 CO2 canisters, so it's only doing 90 feet per second. Here is a worker prophecy, okay? And not my favorite blaster in the world. The complaints I have that they stole my spring idea from that one, and a few other things that Worker just finds and goes, we're influenced. We have the words theft confused with influence. But nonetheless, a good standard blaster. A really good blaster. I had to fire this without darts because, of course, the O-ring broke on this again. I tend to break O-rings on this. Actually, every time I loan this out, it tends to break O-rings. I loaned this to somebody last meet, and it just broke O-rings. So, let me show what I'm talking about. How much different is that than just... It's not. It's not. I mean... And not only that, but I'm going potentially 100, 110 feet per second faster. I mean, out of the box. This blaster can do... pretty good velocities, 180, 200 feet per second. So, and if I go really strong with the springs, I can get even higher. I can probably get like 230, 250, But apples and oranges comparison, let's just go with the 25N spring for now, okay? And, yeah, I mean, really. What advantage does that buy me to go CO2? Not at all. Not only that, but I'm going to have problems with the rules in the NIC and the rules that there's no compressed air or CO2 allowed. I'm going to have that problem. And so you're better off with something like this. Now, the only thing I can think of is price point. Is the price point of those are really good. Let's say it's $60. Let's say it's $80. Great. But it's like $100. Just get a Chronomag or a long shot, or if you're really into that sort of thing, a prophecy. Monkey Mods donated this to me. And then my friend Skylar donated the larger tube, so I can go large tube on this. Yeah, so thank you for doing that. But yeah, I don't think they're very in touch. And I see two models with two different colors. I don't think they're very in touch with the Nerf community at all. But, if somebody gets one, PM me. Tell me about it. You can always PM me on Facebook. That's Chris Cartaya. And just, the guy with the goofy, Mad Hatter hat. You got it, that picture. And just PM me and talk. I'm actually pretty good about conversation and getting back to people unless I'm insanely busy like I am today. Owl Ranch. And for some reason, every time I'm shooting Owl Ranch, everybody tries to message me on the day I'm shooting Owl Ranch. It's absurd! But, what can you do, right? So we got some news about some blasters coming out from Nerf. The Fortnite HCE, which is the child-friendly Fortnite pistol that I hope has the slide like the Desert Eagle slide. It's a mega blaster. It's coming out for $14.99. This was put up by James Price on the Crew Auxiliary. I don't post links. Look it up. It's really easy. You can go on Facebook, Crew Auxiliary. Here it is. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, we're kind of speculating about the internals on it. We're hoping it's Hot Shock internals. I think a lot of people are assuming it's Hot Shock internals because it's going mega rounds, but it can be something else. I personally think it's Hot Shock internals, but who knows, right? I mean, something like this size. Here's a Hot Shock internals right here. This size, and then we can throw like a coupler in here. Ooh, that would be so cool. Remember last week when I talked about my dream of making this look like a 10-inch Desi Eagle with this big brass barrel in the front? Yeah, So I am really excited about that. And who would not be excited about this? The first sightings of the Titan CS50 was seen in Hong Kong, which is really, really cool. The only thing is that it's not here in the States yet. But everybody wants this blaster, and not because it's big, not because it looks like something that could kill a Terminator, but because it has the fabled 50 round mag that originally the Stampede was going to have. So now it is out. It is really cool. I don't know, if I had some money, I would hire somebody to actually grab it, you know. So, what is this? $1,000? Wait a minute. It's $1,000 Hong Kong. Ooh, 1,000 Hong Kong. That is a lot of money. Yeah, but that would be around 128 USD. That's still a lot of money. 128 USD. Jeez. And I remember them saying they were gonna put like rechargeable packs on these and everything, which would be really, really cool. Some people already saying they're going to put an Insanus on it, you know, the blaster that has the ass in the back. We make fun of it, the auto-loading blaster. Ha ha ha, yeah. But, yeah, this was cool. But I can't wait for the Perseus. Personally, I want 2 Perseus. Okay, I'm thinking next Ragnarok Oktoberfest, I'm going to run with a Pigeon. I'm going to run with the Mauserfire, and I'm going to run with 2 of those Perseus. Just blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Last time I played Flywheel, it actually was really cool. I shot it this weekend, but unfortunately, it was on chest cam. Please don't complain about chest cams. I hate head cams. My head feels constrained, and I can't aim worth a shit with a head cam. But then again, some people say I can't aim worth a shit without one. Oh well, right? But at any rate, here, let me show you some of that footage. I'll try to weed through and show you the good parts, because this was a good game. Look at this, a Doominator. A 2 flywheel Doominator. Bautran brought a 2 flywheel Doominator along. This is really, really cool. But check this out. I had a Pigeon. Unfortunately, I was diving behind a bench back here because of the perfect flank position. And so you couldn't see a lot of hits I got. But, oh, did I rock and roll with this thing. There's HvHvZ. We'll talk about him later. He's trying to make the chronograph practical for $30. He's got a Spamf. He's got my Spamf, actually. He borrowed my Spamf. We're going to teach you pistols, boy. I'm serious. First gun I ever fired was a Desert Eagle 50. It was a pistol. And ever since then, I've been hooked on pistols. But I don't like rifles that much. Kind of the opposite. But we'll take you out shooting, boy. But as you can see, yeah, I was kind of behind here. But check out this rush. Okay, right when the game starts, check out this rush. This is badass. Watch this. I just unload a salvo of darts. And I just dive behind here. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, I use this in conjunction with my Mauser fire. Hit, 2 hits. Boom. Oh man. So what I found was this perfect combination, and then I believe I got hit right after this. The perfect combination.
Oh, hit through the bed.
Oh, 3 hits. I got 3 hits here. That's right. And then I got 2 more. That's right. I got 5 here.
Sorry.
4.
Yes. This is why I love Mausers, guys.
5.
Hit. Got me.
And I got hit too.
Good shooting.
But, dude, it just seems like it's just perfect. You know, Mauser fire for the close range kind of shots, and then, like, for spraying people down, the Pigeon, which I have mine in pieces right now because I'm repainting. It's a little worn out, but, man, I tell you, I had so much freaking fun. Mr. Heathpants is just... Mr. Heathpants is a genius. He really is. Come up with, with that. And so is Adrian Ward. He came up with a whole small flywheel format and to bring it to us. Flywheel of the World, just to bring us that format with his first ever recon to shoot it. It just really... I talked to these guys. They're on a group that I talked to on Facebook. Him and Liam Davis and Heathpants and all them. And they are just smart. They always are just... all these messages of all this stuff they're working on. Always busy. Always cool. But it does seem to be a really viable format to go Mauser fire and Pigeon, or maybe an accuratized Spamf, like a Gavin Fuzzy Spamf and a Pigeon. That would be really, really cool, because of course I'm really slow at making these, because of course they're very personal and I'm very hand built, and I'm often busy doing the news and doing YouTube and doing my Facebook stuff and everything else. An order takes a long time for me, so that's why I usually don't take any orders anymore. But even though I had to go back and reload, because I only had 3 of them loaded with the Adventure Force waffles, and oh yes, the Adventure Force waffles were great in a Pigeon. We still won by like 28 balls by, I think, 12 or 13, something like that. It was a really, no, excuse me, I think it was 18. Yeah, 18 balls. It was a really excruciating number. We just clobbered these guys. So BTA, this is probably what I'm going to run if I can run 2 pistols. Is I'm probably going to run something like a Mauser fire, like this. Look at this. I'm sorry, I cannot stand all the time, because if I stand all the time, I'm sitting duck. Oh, and I just mowed down Corey. Oh, I'm so sorry, Corey. I'm so sorry. You know what? But I usually don't like flywheel blasters. The strafe tends to have too long of a trigger pull to really pull a effective rapid fire. I don't really like full auto because it just expends all your rounds. But the Pigeon seems to have that balance of being able to be semi-auto and being able to throw a lot of ammo at once. Well, now that I got it apart, let me show you why that is. Okay? So this is a lower receiver for an MHP Pigeon with a katana mag in it. Okay, you got the 2 flywheel of the world wheels. You got some 2 honey badgers running a 3S lipo. That's about 1.3 amps, about 1,300 milliamps. And the thing about it is, you see this pusher right here, really fast action because it has such a small amount of travel, and it's very smooth if you sand it really well. Which, of course, Mr. Keith Pants actually built this for me. I painted it. I'm not the best painter in the world. But he built this for me. He did a really good job. See what I mean? Everybody just messages me when I'm trying to do an owl ranch. Yeah. So, it's just like that. You're just like, and then the grip here. So the first one he fired, and then it actuated the motors as you fired. And this one actually has the grip. And that's really handy. You have to be careful when you're transporting it, of course. That you don't leave this on so you don't hit a bump or something and it hits this and it just fries your motors and melts all your 3D printing. But you have to be careful of that. Also, you have to build holsters so that the reach around is right here instead of right here. But nonetheless, you got to not be a klutz like Chris. Yeah. But nonetheless, the results are just. So let me show you what's happening when that happens. And you can just unload a magazine really fast. Now you're thinking, okay, Chris, but that's not like 15 darts per second. That's not like 20 darts per second. You don't need that kind of firepower. You know, your best machine guns were like, for example, in the Army, was like the grease gun. You know, the grease gun was the M9 grease gun. Was great. It was a great gun. You know, Thompson submachine gun, 300, 400 rounds per minute. That was great. You don't really need that kind of rate of fire. As a matter of fact, when you're talking about a long war, like CARP or CTF, you want to have more of a sustained fire rather than a lot. I mean, you're going around a corner, you want to just freaking unload on somebody like it's Miami Vice and you got a freaking Ingram machine gun. Yeah, go for it. But you want to really practically shoot. This is about all the rapid fire I ever need. And I dare say it, this is the only flywheeler I've ever loved with absolutely all of my heart. And it is just bitching. This was the perfect sidearm companion to a Mauser. And I'm really happy to have one. If you want one, contact Mr. Heathpants, because in my opinion, there's nothing like the original. And it's not that, okay, there aren't other ones with dual cages. There aren't other ones that are smaller. There aren't other ones that are this or that. It's this action. And the fact that the grip is, I mean, you saw me. I can just destroy with this thing. I think the original is the best. That's just me. You can get something a little more higher power. Maybe a swordfish. Maybe a strife with, you know, some fang motors in it and some lipos and whatever. But when it comes to practical carryability and fireability effectively without going full auto, this is it. This, in my opinion, is it. So, this week we saw AK Blaster Mod's Benelli M4 Shotgun Imitation Kit for the Nerf Magnus. I like this idea better than, let's say, the Fortnite shotgun because it's using a common blaster Magnus as its base. It doesn't have 4 rounds, but at least you don't have to load them from the bottom. But 121 US. Free shipping, of course, that's cool. But 120. I mean, how much does a Spring Thunder cost? I believe what was it, like $200 or something? I mean, you're almost better off just buying a Spring Thunder. I like the idea. It's just that this idea requires a lot of parts, and I think that makes it pretty damn expensive. But if you want something that's a little bit more like a shotgun that shoots mega, this is a good way to go. Still pretty expensive, though. And I remember Enoch, he actually had a shotgun. I covered on Owl Ranch. He actually had a shotgun mod that by itself was a shotgun with its own firing system. Uh, I forget how much that was, but I believe it was around that, about 150, 160 something. And so there are alternatives to this, but this is a good option if you want to go with a Magnus system. Maybe use a Magnus turf spring to fire it and get some pretty good velocities. I don't know about this aerodynamic drag that's in here. I have to be honest, there might be some, but yeah. And the other thing about the Fortnite shotgun is that the fire mechanism is all the way in the front, so you don't have the aerodynamic drag, but it's not really all that upgradable. You know, here's something that's a little bit more upgradable, and you could make it a Stefan blaster if you wanted to. You could make it an elite blaster if you wanted to. But I personally just think this is way too rich for a shotgun mod, and they need to find a much more inexpensive solution for the Magnus. That's just me personally what I feel. So this week, Monkey Mods and Floss have come up with this buttstock with battery compartment with Nerf Strife. About time. You know, you don't need to mod those battery compartments anymore or try to fit a lipo in there. Here we go. Big old battery compartment for the Nerf Strife. And they've already sold for $22.50. Monkey Mod's always just delivering great deals at great prices, reliable shipping and handling, and just good customer service. Monkey Mods, those are the people that donated this and some Monkey Mod barrels I helped them out with designing, and donated this for my cause. Thank you very much. You know, I always am going to thank you for that. And always just coming up with cool stuff. You know, but what I'm thinking of here is, let's say for like the Doominator, and people had questions about the 3 wheels, the 3 sets of wheels and everything, and where are you going to put all the batteries? Dude, a stock, dude. Seriously. I mean, a lot of people like this stock for like the Doominator, especially because it's the same color, but in reality, you really need something like that. That can fit 3 sets of lipos and throw three switches and run 3 motors. That's the way to do it. My only complaint, of course, because of that, is that it's not in Doominator colors. If they had come up with, they really need to make this in that clear blue and that clear black and that clear color that Doominators come in, because then you would have like a lot that you could do with a Doominator. You no longer, the Doominator didn't have a big enough battery compartment really for the motors that it can have, and I really feel like something like this is a solution. So if you're running clear blue or black or you know, or clear or whatever, you can't really paint to get this color, and there's no way to really match this. So I'm really thinking that for the Doominator, they should make a clear blue version. The clear blue with clear and smoke black, and it would also go a lot with like the Swordfish. Also the Swordfish, yeah, like the Swordfish can use it too. All these things can use it. So that is the only thing I didn't really like about this, but it really sparked my mind, like, yeah, this would be cool because it can do a lot of stuff. Let's see what kind of colors this comes in. Does it just come with white and that's it? Brand, product code, quantity. I don't see any place where there's an option for color, and I really wish that they had more colors. Well, hopefully they will do it. No one's reviewed it yet. No one's gotten it yet. But hopefully they will. Because this is a really epic idea for something that's using multiple flywheels or need a lot of battery space. So, dude, my friend and colleague, Tripp Miller, which I brought up on the show before, found this massively huge plunger tube that he can use for a sledge fire. It's I think it's 1.65 inches in diameter. It's huge. It actually fits the normal sledge fire tube inside of it, as you can see here. So, along with finding that spring and finding that plunger tube, it's getting closer. He's getting a lot closer to pulling it off. With this kind of a short stroke, you don't have to worry about drag as much, which I have found with the Chronomag. And he could really, wow, I mean, this is really insane-o. Yeah, look at this, man. Really, really cool. So he is still in that pursuit for making the number 300 sledge fire really, really kick ass. And I love to see this ingenuity in people that they don't go aside and just, I'm just going to give up with what I have, or, you know, I'm just gonna do whatever, you know. No. They go on with the idea. They finish the idea. They pursue the idea. They keep it going, you know. And this is the thing. So we could see some serious shit coming out. Ooh, I love it. I love it. This is such adventure. This is great. Nerf is an adventure. I mean, being on the news, watching me on the news is an adventure. Driving a car is an adventure. Surfing is an adventure. Going to stores is an adventure. Oh yeah, it's all an adventure. Honestly, don't know, but I feel sad for your loss. Honestly, don't know. Honestly, don't know. Alright, so. Well, we couldn't even get on this page. Which I like to use I like to report stuff from the source page, but you know what? Mass and Nerf asking me which mall is on the east side. Unfortunately, good question to weed out people that are not actually from your area, so you're not sending them bogus stuff and this and that, you know. But basically, Mass and Nerf had an FDL3 and a Caliburn stolen, which is really sad. That's like $500 worth of blasters, and I think it's of really poor taste that people would steal. But the one question, my friend Ty, he brought it up. It's you know, how did somebody steal a Caliburn? Yeah, it is a pretty big blaster. Yeah, and nobody saw it. That's pretty suspicious. Yeah, but this is our new asshole of the week. The people who stole this blaster. New asshole of the month. Yeah, and it's just, you know. I know that this has destroyed a lot of Nerf groups I was a part of, where people started just stealing blasters. One time, I had a Nerf Recon that I got the kit for, and Basic Nerf got me the Nerf Recon for Christmas, and somebody just went and took it. And it was like, I was a lot less attentive to go to that war now. I was just like, very kind of standoffish. And a lot of people were too. And I know that this can be a real poison. Theft of blasters can be a real poison. Or theft of stuff can be real poison. And I'm not talking about a few darts here and there. Or somebody leaving stuff and somebody picking something up and handing it to you next word. No, I'm talking about just theft. It is a real problem in the community. And it can destroy a league very quickly. So I hope that they find this. Not just to find the blasters, but to get to the bottom of this theft. You know, you go to a war with a bunch of brothers, you are expected to be treated in the same manner of brotherhood, and you're expecting, and you yourself are expected to have that same feeling of brotherhood, that you're not going to steal stuff, that you're trustworthy and all that. And the whole clique just falls apart when there's thieves, because, well, there is no honor amongst thieves, sadly enough. So, a guy I know, his name is LegoDEI, his real name is Howdy, and he makes these Accurato 3D printed muzzles that work really great on blasters such as Caliburns, such as Chronographs. I think they work really good on Chronographs. He's pledging to make an inexpensive chronograph, one that costs $30 and is easy for people to do, to make it more feasible to have a chronograph. He's got 8 backers. He's at $251 out of $300, and he's got 27 days to go. I will put the link for this in the description. I don't normally link stuff because I want people to find stuff on their own, and not only that, but when I link stuff, you guys don't pay me back by giving me views. You actually give me less views, so I don't like that. So I don't do that. I make you search for it. Sue me. But this one we're going to actually do, and he's a brilliant guy. He's a Caltech grad. He's very smart. He's a really good shooter. He's got a sniper blaster as a softer shooter, so he's a little bit more of a mid-area sniper, but he's really accurate. And he gets some really good kills when he plays, and yeah, so this is pretty much it right here.
So in order to give this project some credibility, this is a through-tube version that I made previously. Of course, the new one will be open-top so that you can fit any type of ammo you want through the measurement system.
Yeah, so he's going to fire. 195. See, he can do it. He's smart enough to do it. I have seen him do it. He's 87% funded. I would really like to see this get funded, and I really would like to see this get done. And I would really, if you can give him all the support you can give him, I would really appreciate it, because he is a good friend. And I mean, I drove him home once, and we got to talking about science and, you know, inventing and Caltech stuff and everything. And he was really just a nice guy. And I really think that he's going to do more in the future for Nerf. And I really think that he's definitely one to watch. LegoDEI is definitely one to watch. So at any rate, this concludes Nerf News and Owl Ranch, episode 20, season 2. I really would love to see all of you getting as many people that can come. I think this is going to be a really good year, and it's going to be really awesome. This is some fan edit video about Hardware, which was a movie that came out in 1990, which was really, really cool. So I wanted to use that as my closing backdrop. And at any rate, if you guys have any information about that blaster, those blasters that were stolen, let me know, or let Madison Nerf know, because I think that that just sucks that people steal it, and it is a bad form, and that can just wreck a community. And I am concerned about that. I am really concerned about that. Theft is no way to do it. Not only that, this is a community that aspires people to create and pursue their ideas of making better blasters, pursues ideas such as, you know, cheaper chronographs, you know, rifle attachments, making better kits, making better darts, and what have you. And it's so different than thievery that when you see thieves in the picture, that really does break my heart a lot. So until next time, this is Chris Cartaya saying, don't you go changing, or I'll find you.